literally was Instagram page where they just had piglets. There's like a race course. And there's food at the end of it, and then they just unleash the pigs, and it was like commentary, like it was a real F1 race or something. And all these little piglets are running. So you should do that with your kids.
Yeah, bro.
Then you can see who's the alpha kid.
The thing is, also, have you seen there's a video on Instagram, they took a baby and then they put like car keys and a toy, and then they put like a cell phone and a toy and whatever, and the baby never takes the toys. It always takes the complete opposite.
Serious, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So even if you put food there, it probably wouldn't even run. You'd have to put like a car key or a phone or something that they're not supposed to have.
Yeah. A
Sweets.
smartphone.
Sweets, bro. Anything just works, bro.
So how is dad life, bro?
Yeah, it's actually chilled. I've heard worse. Like people have kids and then their like whole life falls apart, bro. But I've managed to keep like most of my routine and my training and all that kind of stuff. I've had to drop a couple of things. Like I can't go and bike for 6 to 8 hours on the weekend. But
Just 4 now.
yeah, just 4 hours. And also like just changing a couple of things, because I also got to make sure that Belle's also getting her stuff in, you know, like her training and running. Like I kind of made that priority, because also for the moms it's difficult, but you're at home with the baby all the time, and it's different for the dads. But like you can,
And also you don't have that maternal instinct as much, so it's easier for you to quickly go do a 6-hour ride.
Yeah, but I'll just be like, I'll be back later. But I also do like spending time with Kara and Layla and doing family stuff, bro. I don't know, I just adjusted pretty quickly, I think.
How old are they now?
Kara is going to be 1 next month, and then Layla's turning 5 in March.
Okay, so you had Layla last time you were on
Layla's
the podcast. You had
yeah,
her.
so Layla's my stepdaughter. She's she's Belle's daughter, and then Kara is from us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Rich, no kids.
No kids. But I got two
dogs.
two dogs, bro. They're my daughters.
I understand that they're children.
Yeah. Without the nappies, but yes, bro. Those two are naughty, eh? And
It's terrible.
we go through the ringer. I mean, we just got a pup, so we had all the waking up at 3 a.m. Dom and I are messaging each other at like 3 a.m. Like, hey, bro, Kara's up. Yeah, Zara's up too, bro. Don't worry.
Was Zara the other one that I saw this morning?
Yeah, Zara's the pup. Yeah.
It's like picking up pies. I'm changing nappies.
Yeah, same thing, bro.
Yeah, well, I guess the nappy thing is definitely worse. Have you had any instances where it was a bit of a close call?
Dude, I've had one time where Kara was sitting on my lap, bro, and he just exploded, bro. Just exploded. And I'll never forget it, bro. We were sitting by the pool, we were just chilling, and then Bella came and she just starts laughing. I'm like, can you help me? Like, I was just sitting there, bro, with this baby, like, basically almost covered in dunga, bro. And I'm like,
how are you with that? Like,
no, chill, bro. Like, I mean,
before, if someone had to take a dump on you, how would you feel compared to a kid? Obviously,
I'm not gonna offer that.
You've
bro,
desensitized yourself to that kind of stuff now with a child.
Yeah, you know what, dude? Like, I think I was pretty desensitized to it. Like, just from I don't actually know why, but it was just never something hectic for me changing nappies and stuff. It was just chilled. Maybe it was because I had to do some like hectic stuff in rehab, cleaning like septic tanks and stuff like that. Like, you just get over it, bro. But I mean, I'm not gonna go clean a shit pipe for fun.
Have you checked those videos online where the fathers, for like the first time, they have to change the nappy and they can't handle it, bro? They just start gagging. They're like, as they open the nappy, and they just can't handle it, bro. It's amazing.
I don't know. I guess you kind of just have to when you're a father.
Yeah.
But even with dogs, like, because it's a dog, and like, let's say it's super runny or sloppy or they vomit or whatever, it's kind of just like, oh,
yeah,
I love you too much to be grossed out by this.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was a human, an adult human, different story.
Yeah.
like if you were with the girl and she got too drunk and she vomited everywhere, that was disgusting. Whereas if it's a baby, it's like, okay, that's fine, even if it's on me.
Yeah,
it is. It's different, but it's weird. And also, it's like there's a lot of things that babies do, and you're like, oh, that's so cute. And if someone does it and they're much older, you're like, what's wrong with this person? Or you get like sifted out by it. It's strange, yeah.
So what are some of the things? Obviously, you mentioned the bike riding that you've kind of had to, like, because obviously running is shorter than cycling.
Yeah.
But what other things have you had to almost sacrifice? Not in the negative sense of the word, but make decisions at least.
Yeah, I think not actually much, bro, to be honest. Like, I don't go out jolling and all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, I've lived that life. I'm over it. So, just maybe like if you get home from like a long day or like a big session, you can't just like hit the couch for a couple of hours. It's back and you full on like dad mode with the kids, or it's like you're going to bars or birthday parties or family. Like it's cool stuff, but you just it's I wouldn't say it's a sacrifice, because I'd rather be busy and, you know, operating, but you don't have couch days, bro, you know. And then sleep, like in the beginning it was quite hectic, because like your sleep cycle gets thrown out because I have to be up at 4 anyways. But it was like if Kara's awake at say 1:30 and he falls asleep again at 3, you can't go back to sleep, bro, but you've been up since 1:30. So sometimes I used to get on the indoor trainer, bro, and not just be like, I'm just gonna bike for an hour and then go straight to work. So yeah, I don't think I've really actually had to give up a lot, bro, to be honest. I think I've been pretty blessed with how everything's moved. Bella's really good. She's been a great help, and we've just like met each other halfway with everything. So I had to give up running with like all my Chinas, or like our run club on a Sunday. I'll let her go and run with the club, and I'll run on my own, because I also don't mind running in the heat, where I'll rather have her running early in the morning and I'll chill with the kids, and then when she gets back I'll go out, which is hard, but that's just like something you gotta do, bro, you know.
1 year old. You guys were mentioning how quickly he's growing up. Is that scary, or how does it feel, you know, having your child? Because it's also like sometimes the immaturity is frustrating, sometimes it's difficult to see the growth, because you're like, just stay this way, because you know how quickly people change.
So I mean, you know, like I was actually thinking about this yesterday, like as cool as it is, like he's a baby now and all that kind of stuff, and you always want them to stay small, which is what everyone says. But then on the other side, like I'm also excited to do stuff with him. Like there's that little fishing place in the cradle at the bottom of Satellite Hill, or that clown. And I'm always like, I'm going to bring Kyra here, but I want to go fishing and camping with him there. I want to ride bikes with him. I want to teach him how to play sports. Like there's a lot of things that are still to come that are so awesome, bro. So yeah, it's cool like having them staying a baby, but there is still a lot more after that. You know, same with the girls. Like Bella loves doing things with Layla. I also enjoy doing things with her where I can. Doesn't just end there.
Do you think it's different with like a dad and a son, where like, because obviously you've been through that yourself, and like now passing those skills on to your son, like how to ride a bike, how to fish, how to do this, how to do that.
I think so.
Like the bond is different. Like obviously,
what do mom and a daughter?
Well,
I think they also paint nails. And
like the interest.
That's like their thing. Yeah.
I saw your nails were done this morning. Did you get them?
No way.
And Rich, you obviously just need to exercise the dogs.
Hey, bro, that's priority number 1. If we don't do it, they wreck the house. I mean,
even this like, bro, is also gonna carry on exercising.
It does help you be more active.
Yeah,
you know, oftentimes I'll be like, no, I need to take a rest, and then I'll be like, you know what, at least I can, even if I'm just walking 30 minutes with the dogs.
Yeah.
Whereas if the dogs weren't there, I might have just not.
Yeah, for sure.
So it definitely helps you be more active, and also getting in more steps.
For sure.
Like you ran with the dogs this morning. So it's also, it does make running more enjoyable at times as well.
It does, yeah. And I think it does, in a certain sense, it sort of forces you to get out there. Especially with the two, like we've got 2 quite active breeds. We've got a collie and a pointer. So naturally the dogs are
working dogs.
Super intelligent, working dogs, really active. Even, you know, if we take them for a run, that's stimulated them on like a physical level, but they still need to be mentally stimulated. So, you know, we can take them for a run like this morning, get home, and they'll be ready to go in the afternoon, you know, and then we've got to do some training, or take them for like a sniff walk where they just go and get their senses heightened and stuff. Otherwise, they're a nightmare. They just don't stop.
Yeah, I think people also overlook the responsibility. Obviously, it's not the same as a human, but there's massive responsibility with dogs.
Sure.
And especially working dogs.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's really difficult because...
Yeah, it can be,
you know, you do want to go out for longer, or you do want to go away for a weekend, and you always have to make sure that there's someone looking after the dogs, or someone at least that's able to exercise them.
Yeah.
Because I know now I'm pretty much, other than my parents, I have no one to look after my dogs that knows how to handle them or take them for a walk.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. So it's very limiting, but it teaches you responsibility. And
100%.
I think it's definitely a good thing before kids, at least, is to maybe experience the difficulty of dogs.
Dogs are a lot of admin, bro.
Like nothing compared to a kid, obviously.
Nothing, yeah.
But
like,
it's somewhat like I do get it, bro. It is very similar. Like
Yeah.
cats are easy, bro.
Yeah.
They even move into the neighbor's house for a while and then you chill.
yeah.
But yeah, dogs are a lot of admin, bro.
So, Rich, you're looking smart. What do you do for a living?
Yeah, where do we
Tom, just
start?
pull that a bit closer.
Okay, so
Closer the better, yeah.
yeah, so my wife and I run architecture and furniture business together, which was started in COVID.
Thanks for all these couches as well. It was your company that built them for us. Joking, they would look a lot better if you guys did it.
Yeah, no. At least we didn't build those tables for you at your patio. The ones that fell
I had
apart.
to send those back. Terrible.
Yeah.
Literally, before you came, I had to quickly run home because the delivery guys were fetching the furniture. So I ordered furniture, built it, threw away the boxes. Then I actually sat on the furniture, and then the one part wasn't welded. So it was just going to bend the arms or the platform or whatever. So then I didn't deassemble it. I just sent it back. But it's pretty frustrating after spending like 2 hours building the furniture.
Yeah.
But also the cheaper the furniture, the building process has to happen. So I
Sure.
think it serves me right for trying to save some money.
Yeah. So we run an architecture and a furniture company together. That's my wife and I. And then we are also involved in like the family business, which is a group of companies, is 4 companies, mostly or majority in the engineering industry. So we have like a foundry where we melt down molten brass, cast it into molds, and make like electrical components, automotive components. We got like an engineering shop with CNC machines, do turning, another furniture division. So there's like a little group of companies, a cluster of companies. We have about 40 staff members. And yeah, so it was started by my grandfather. My dad then bought that out, and I'm in the process of buying it out from them. So yeah, it keeps us busy, keeps us on our toes. Definitely not what we thought we'd be doing.
What did you think you were going to be doing?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, if you asked me in school, I would have said something in the sports industry. I've always been obsessed with sport. Like, that's been my life. It's what I loved at school. It was like the reason I went to school was maths and sport. So it definitely would have been something in the sports industry. After school, went on gap year, did like a bunch of coaching and stuff like that overseas. And then started like applying for varsity and got into architecture. I was always a little bit arty and things, so it was like a natural fit, I think. And that's where I met Liesel, my wife, at architecture school.
So she's an architect as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
so we both qualified, not with masters, but we've qualified with our honors. And then yeah, so we were both worked in the industry for a while, probably 2 to 3 years, and then COVID hit. She unfortunately lost her job, and then we just had to make ends meet. We had just moved out of home into like our own little flat. Both being new graduates, we were on like really low salaries. So we like combined our salaries to pay the rent. And then when she lost her job, it got quite difficult. So yeah, we used our like 3D programs on the computer to design furniture, put it out on Instagram. We hadn't made one physical piece of furniture, and people started ordering, and we just had like pictures.
What style of furniture?
So like your modern steel furniture basically is majority of it, and then we started expanding to combine like glass and wood and stone and like all the other elements. We've recently started doing some upholstery, so some sofas and stuff like that. And then like our chalk and cheese, like where we really enjoy that industry is the custom side. So stuff that people see on Pinterest or wherever and they can't find it in the shops, that's when they come to us and we make it happen. So we've done some really cool stuff. Yeah, it's we're still very small, we're still learning, we by no means like where we want to be. But yeah, it's interesting.
And working with your partner? How's that?
Very interesting. Yeah, has its days. Look, on the whole, really cool. Like we pretty much do everything together. So we train together, we work together, we obviously stay together, live together, do everything together. So naturally, there's going to be moments where there's friction, and there's going to be the argument here and there. But on the whole, it's amazing. She's really patient with me. Yeah, she's
Is that the
definitely-
most important thing?
yeah. I'm like emotional, man. I'm fiery. I want to like make decisions on the fly, and she's just like, well, hold your horses. Let's think about this. Let's talk about it. You know. So we complement each other well, but yeah, it definitely has its moments. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating with men and women. I saw something about how women are better at making investments because they don't really second guess themselves, or they actually
Amazing,
do
yeah.
their due diligence
Yeah.
when making an investment. So like brokers or investment bankers or whatever, actually better as females
Sure.
as a whole, because they don't like, we're very emotional.
Yeah.
We see the price dip of something, we're like, okay, no, let's take this out, or
Yeah.
this client is negative, like no, screw that, we need to find a new supplier or whatever.
Yeah.
So and then
100%.
where women are just a bit more logical.
Yeah.
And it's actually interesting how, because historically, obviously, maybe because they obviously weren't allowed to, but women weren't in business.
Yeah.
But now, as you mentioned, complementing each other with the male and feminine ideas and way of handling things obviously works out better.
Yeah. And it's been amazing to see to see her growth over the years. Like and also, yeah, I mean, just the way that she handles business is amazing. Like I know when we started, she was super nervous to like phone a client and give bad news, like, oh, listen, your table might be a day or two late or whatever the case is. Now she handles it like a boss. It's like, listen, this is the story. We'll send a chocolate with to say sorry. Like there's always a solution. Nothing is the end of the world. It's just a coffee table. Like we always try our best to improve and keep the customer happy. But at the end of the day, she's really switched on, logical, like patient. Yeah, which a lot of the times I'm maybe not so much. So yeah, it's good. It's good. I think we complement each other well.
Yeah, well, all three of us are business owners. So Dom, for you, running a gym, dealing with, clients dropping off, new clients onboarding, what for you has maybe been the biggest challenge around business in general, and then obviously maybe being in the gym space?
Well, first thing is I don't get chocolates, bro, and you work so late for a session, right? So I don't need to sort that out, bro.
As long as we're not eating them.
yeah, I could have a chocolate too, bro. I'm just losing all my weight here. Yeah, it is difficult, but I think if you work systematically, like, you've always got something else or something happening. So I still do like online coaching, but on a very small basis. We're looking at launching that as well for Hyrox, because it hasn't really happened here in South Africa. And then, yeah, it's you just got to stay on top of it all the time. It gets very tiring. You're like also trying to train and do races with everyone and get everyone ready for comps. It's a lot. Like, if you come there to train and to get ready for a competition, like all you got to do is show up, do the workout, chilled. I've got to try and get myself ready, get you ready, and 80 other people ready, and still wake up 4 every day,
Run the business,
try and operate myself, and then it's like get home, it's kids, it's family, it's a lot, really. I won't lie, but you make it happen, you manage it, and I also enjoy it. So keeping all my members on their feet, not just training for Hyrox or just doing strength training, like we spoke about a challenge that we're going to do in December to keep the guys going. So because it does get boring no matter what you do in terms of your training and routine. It does get boring, and I always believe that we need to, even if it's just like a simulation or a comp thing on the weekend where everyone just gets involved, or you do a small challenge, like the challenge we're going to do is that net challenge where it's like 10Ks every day for 10 days. It's difficult, but people are keen for stuff like that because you're not just training, you're looking to do something else. And yeah, I've been doing it now for 14 years, bro. So it's a long time. Sorry, like 12. How old am I, bro? 32. 12.
That kid's maths.
12, story sums, eh? 12 years, bro. So you learn, and I started on my own, like from the beginning. Like I didn't, my parents helped me like with my studies to pay for, when I went into college and all that. And then after that, it was like I started my own job. I was, you're earning like $3,000 a month and you're still staying at home, but you learn that like survival mode on your own. That's how my parents brought me up and how they taught me. So I've never really known anything else, any different. So as challenging it as it can be, there's been times where you really like lose a lot of members, and that's just maybe they get bored, or it's seasonal as well. So seasonal thing is quite impacting on the business and the fitness industry. But then again, you keep the guys busy. Like we had our guys training all through winter because we made it exciting. Our run club carried on running, dude. And like on the coldest days, we would have the biggest groups, and we're like, how does this happen? But if you keep showing up as a coach as well and a mentor, then people will follow. If you keep doing what you're getting your guys to do, they also kind of learn to trust you. And I don't have to do that as a showcase. It just comes naturally for me because I also enjoy that time that I spend with my members and doing what they're doing. It's easy for me to teach that. It's like work. If you enjoy your job, you'll enjoy showing people what you do and how to do it. And you just build from there, basically.
And you're working with people that are passionate about what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
You're not passionate about just business and then a byproduct means clients. You're passionate about fitness and obviously doing your own thing and building a business, and then you're working with people that are doing the thing that, irrespective of the business or not, you would still be doing. You'll still be training and still be doing all of that. So that for me, I think has been the most difficult thing, is dealing with people.
It's hard, bro.
Dealing with people, I think that's the biggest challenge in business.
Yeah.
It's not systematizing things. It's not invoicing. It's not expansion. It's just putting your ego aside.
Yeah.
And the cliche of the client's always right. It's like, it kind of just has to be that way. And that gets tough.
Yeah. So some days I get home and I'm just completely smoked. But I'm like, what happens to me? Who did I see today? But
Did
it
Jesse
happens.
drain my energy too much today?
It happens, bro. Like, I'm also a big believer in like energy and, just spiritually. And there's definitely, we're exposed to so many different energies and traumas and stuff without even knowing it, And even when you just engage with people, you emotionally engaging with them, it's a different level. If you care about your members, because that's what we do. We've created a community. It's not just like commercial gyms where you're just a number in a factory, coming in, swipe your card, you go in, like no one cares, bro. They won't even know if you trained or not. Half the guys, just whip up a smoothie and then you're there.
That's why they implemented that new thing at Virgin now, where you got to swipe on the way in and out after half an hour.
Is that because
they knew
the
people.
QR thing?
Yeah, so you scan the code on the way in, half an hour later, you can scan on the way out. And then you've completed your workout. But it has to be 30 minutes has to go on by. If you just leave and try scan straight away, it doesn't work.
So now you got to order a cooked meal.
Like I said, take your time, making the food, it's fine.
So it's there's a lot of engagement, but people, it's difficult. And it's not a lot of people. It just takes like one person, and that's also what makes it hard, because you're dealing with majority, like super chill. And then you're not used to it, and then that one person comes when it just vibrates your whole like brain.
How have you managed? Because obviously, let's say you're doing one-on-one, people divulge a lot about their personal lives, and sometimes it's difficult to know, okay, how much in return do I give them, or how much in just emotional support is someone complaining about their wife. It's like, okay, whose side do I take? What do I do? So I'm sure that's also difficult, because also you're thinking, and also you're trying to train them, not just be a psychologist. So I think that's also very tiring.
So look, I am quite a giving person in terms of like giving people my time to listen and all that kind of stuff. But then there's also a certain time in the session where I'm just like, okay, listen, like now we got to train. I do it to this guy quite often. Everyone loves to chat to him when he comes to the gym, when he's training. They can see he's training and I'll start chatting to him. I'm like, guys, we need to cut this conversation. But just in terms of like the personal stuff, I mean, I've heard it all. Like there's nothing that you haven't heard and seen in the industry. It's like, I always tell my clients, like when you go to your doctor, if there's something wrong with you, you tell them exactly what's wrong. You don't go there and try and get them to guess. And we need to know, or I need to know, how my clients are feeling on the day, because you got to do a biofeedback when you train them. You can't just every day completely hammer them, because it's not working with, maybe they're not sleeping, maybe they got high stress levels from work, or they've lost a family member, maybe they're going through something that's traumatic. It's going to take a toll on their bodies. So you do need to gauge on a certain level, but there's also places where you just need to listen, and you don't have to give advice. If you've got the advice to give because you've been in that situation, or you can understand or relate to their circumstances, then do it. You might save that person's life. And if they didn't come to train with you, they wouldn't have got into that space in the first place, because they're also trusting you to talk to you about it. You're not going to just go to anyone and tell them your personal life and what's going on at home or wherever, So, to a certain extent, I think we also need to appreciate that people do come to me and talk to me about it. Yeah. But it does sometimes it's hard, bro. Sometimes, if every week you asking someone like, how are you? I always ask my members, how you doing? And every day, if that person has a negative feedback, eventually I just stop asking. And then I just say, like, just take it easy today after the session, chill, do some reflection. You just don't engage in that, how are you, anymore. And then eventually they just come right, bro. Everyone comes right, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone comes right.
You guys, speaking of being drained, you guys just ran to Cape Town. How was that experience?
Phew.
Rich?
Yeah.
Was that you've done it before, huh?
This is my first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rich, how was that? How many Ks did you end up doing in the week?
So in the week of Mad to Run, I finished on 2:05, and then we rested the Saturday and we did the marathon on the Sunday. So
what is your time? That was the Cape Town marathon,
I wanted a sub 4, but I finished just over 4 hours, so 4 hours 35 seconds.
But you had just run 160 Ks.
Yeah.
We had already run over 200.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So my body was broken there. Yes, I think it was just the volume. So it was, I mean, like, fitness wise, it was weird. It was a weird feeling because my fitness was there. Like, I could feel my cardiovascular fitness was there. It was 100%, it was firing. I felt really good, even though there was a lack of sleep and like the nutrition we struggled a bit with. Like, I still felt amazing. But I think it was just the load, like that increase in load all of a sudden over 8 days. Was like, it was massive. Like, if you had to look at it on a graph, it would be like sort of slowly climbing and then this massive spike. So I think that took a toll on the body naturally. A lot of us struggled with like little niggles here and there, maybe like a little issue in the foot or in the calf or in the hip. So like for me, my right calf started giving me a bit of trouble. But you don't have a choice. You in this thing, you've got to run to Cape Town, you're on shift. You got to run the Ks.
What were some of the most difficult shifts?
So I think for all of us, we hit like, was it day 4?
Day 5.
Day 5, yeah. Day 5. Yes. We had like already 3 or 4 brutal days, like either big heat, a lot of Ks, like
some graveyard shifts.
And then we hit day 5 and like you'd just gone over halfway.
Where were you in the country?
We were just sort of like halfway through the Karoo, I would say. Probably would be the best. Yeah.
This is hard, bro.
So it was hard. Like, there was nothing around. You look around, there's nothing. It's flat, it's dry, it's open. And our shift was from, I think, 11 o'clock at night until 6 o'clock the next morning. So it was literally graveyard. And we had to be up 2 hours before that because we still had to travel to meet the team. So we had to like pack our car box and everything. So yeah, by the time we got there, we were already starting to feel it. And then we had to start running. And it was just, I don't know if it was just like an accumulation of what had happened over the last 5 days, but all of us hit that shift and we were nowhere, man. Like, our energy was terrible. Our motivation was like rock bottom. But somehow we got through it, man.
We still ran our mileage that day.
So energy dips, what did you did you just push through, or did you find a way to motivate yourselves again?
Yeah. I think you sort of, like, everyone has their own little vice, but I must say, like, as a team, as a group of, so we were a team of 6, as a group, we really like held each other accountable and like helped each other up through those dips, like, we never just left the oak and said like, oh, I'm buggered, you go run. Like, it was like, come, Dom, you feeling cuck, I'm feeling cuck, let's go run. Let's just go and whack 5Ks, even if it's just 5Ks, so the other oaks can get some rest, and then the next 2 guys will go. So like, as a team, we really pulled each other through. But I think for me personally, like my little vice, I was just praying. I was just on the road there, like I was looking at the sky. When I was running, I told him to kill the lights on the car, so I was running under the moonlight and the stars and everything. And it's actually beautiful, man. You're in the middle of nowhere. You look up and there's just this galaxy above you, bright full moon. Yeah, Dom's got a story about how the rocks were glowing on the road, but I'm sure you'll go into it now.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you do.
100%, bro. We had a lot of like weird stuff going on. Well, I mean, it wasn't happening, but you just think so. It's like you're driving 10 k's an hour because you have to drive as fast as your runner, and then when you stop, it looks like everything's still moving like this, dude. And you think you're gonna, like, if the other team vehicle's in front, you think you're gonna crash, but you're dead still, bro. And it looks like it's doing this because you've been staring at it for so long. And then, I was busy running, and it's the reflection of the moon on the floor, and then maybe the car lights. But it felt like I was running on like a bed of like clear quartz crystals. Like the floor was shining. And then when you stop and you look at the floor, it's just gravel, bro. Like it could just be normal.
That's wild.
Maybe you were. Maybe there was, I don't know, some mushrooms you ate or something.
Well, we'd been sleeping like 2 hours a day for 5 days. We were burning 5,000 calories a day. We were not eating anywhere near that. We were fed well, bro, but we just weren't getting in the food because your clock is also so messed up. So we would eat dinner, then sleep. Like if we were doing graveyard shift, we would eat dinner, then we would sleep from like 8 to 10 p.m. Wake up, get ready in your tent, and then pack. Like car box was packed before you slept. Make chow for the run, like peanut butter jam, samis, marmite, you know, the stories. And then you're running. And then the sun comes up while you're on shift. That's when we would have like a bit of a turnover of personality, because now your body's waking up, you feel better, you can see, you know, you just feel a little bit more alive. And then by the time you finish your run shift, maybe like 6 or 7 a.m., you drive back to camp, you think you haven't eaten breakfast, but it's only 7 or 6 in the morning. It's so early, but because the sun's been up with you, you feel like you're halfway through the day, bro. Then you get back to camp and you're eating breakfast. So yeah, I think like all of that stuff just came from being completely disrupted and not eating properly, because you're not eating on schedule. You just like, you whack a run, you come back, you chart 2 sandwiches, you hit like a rehydrate or like electrolytes. And we used a lot of the Biogen Recovergen shake because it was easy to get calories in, and it's got protein and carbs. We were probably hitting like 3 of those a day on shift, off shift, and then eating as well. And then the dehydration, like we were definitely dehydrated, bro. I mean, we were sweating like crazy. And then on a day like that, you should easily do 4 to 5 liters. We were nowhere near doing 4 to 5 liters, and you're still trying to hydrate the whole time. So yeah, like Rich said, it's a collective of all these things. We had proper like porridge brain, and it reminded me of like back in the day when I used to jaw, and like you leave the jaw, everyone's like coming down, no one's talking, one person's driving. And then on that 5th day shift, bro, like when the sun came up, I was just like not having it, bro. I was like this, I just didn't feel good mentally, like feeling that kind of space again. And the sun came up, and I opened the doors of the bus, bro, and I just put on like some sick drum and bass. And then we just had like the best time ever. And then like that's just how we cruised, you know, because we knew like you could get through it no matter what. And it was just, we just needed like a day of sleep. That's also why I think the marathon was also so chilled, a lot more chilled than we thought it would have been, because we had this Saturday to actually like just take off, sleep in a bed comfortably. And also Friday night we slept in lacquer beds and just chilled. And you just needed that day to recuperate a little bit more, and then smash the marathon on the Sunday.
I'm surprised that Saturday didn't make you more tired on the Sunday, because I know when you've been going hard.
Yeah.
And then like if you do a really hard weekend and you take Monday off, then Tuesday you're so sore because you've stopped, and your body's like, okay, now we can try increase inflammation, whatever, to try recover. So but I think also when you've done it a whole 5 days.
Yeah, dude, it had been a long time. So I think we had actually conditioned into doing the marathon and then like just taking a day off. And it went so fast, bro. Like still to this day, I mean, we chatted about it. What day is Tuesday? maybe like yesterday or on the weekend, we were like, do you guys feel like you've done mad to run? Do you feel like you ran 250 Ks and we were like, no, it doesn't feel like we've been through it, because I think it also comes a lot down to our training. Like we were conditioned for it. None of us like fell apart afterwards. When we got back, we took Monday off and then we were training from Tuesday. We ran a little bit that week. We did some weights. We did some Hyrox. We did a big bike session on the weekend. We've been running this week back on normal program.
Yeah.
You obviously need to like just tap off a little bit. But then we saw people like not being able to like walk off the marathon.
Yeah.
Everyone's stiff for like a full week. And
people have been tapering down for the marathon. Meanwhile, you guys were tapering up a lot.
We
were
like tapered
ramping
into
it,
the
bro.
marathon.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Which was cool, because some people do train like that, eh? They say training on like tired legs sometimes works a lot better than rested legs, because like you say, your body does, it starts to shut off. I remember when I was doing triathlon, I always used to, or even CrossFit comps, where I'd train, and then those few days before the comp, I'd feel absolutely buggered, and then I'd switch on during the race. But you don't really want to feel like that. You want to feel like
you're firing.
Yeah, that's where tapering is difficult, bro.
Tapering is very difficult because also
hard.
I think mentally as well, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
The day or two before a race
Yeah.
to do like a 2K when I got 65 tomorrow. Like surely I should be doing more, or even just those 2Ks. Thinking maybe I'm going to injure myself, or maybe I'm going to be a bit more stiff. So I think it's actually an art.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I see it as just another training day, bro. Like, I mean, like in terms of race and competition, for example, if you're doing a CrossFit comp and it's like 3 days, you're just going to go out, you're just going to do 5 workouts. It's harder, but for me, mentally, that's just how I approach it. It's like, okay, we're going to go do a half marathon, but we've done plenty of those in training. This was my first marathon, so I was a little bit nervous for Cape Town.
Took a bit of convincing.
Yeah. Yes, dude, I had a hard-ass week though. I was very close to not doing the marathon on Sunday, and I was like, I'm going to see what happens when over the weekend, because my feet blistered so badly that I actually couldn't run the one day. I only did 8 Ks, bro. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I can't
Only
just
did
do
8 Ks,
bro.
but a lot of people watching this probably have never even run 8 Ks.
So yeah, I was very close to not being able to do the marathon. Not that I didn't want to do it, but I just I struggled, bro. Even during the marathon, the first 15 Ks was like the hardest 15 ever. And then I switched on and I figured a couple of things out, camber to run, and then you just suffer and you suck it up, bro.
I think that's also for me, the first hour of anything is actually the worst part.
Yeah.
Once you're getting warm, once you're getting going, especially, I don't know, cycling for me, that first 45 minutes is so difficult.
Yeah.
My knees are so sore. My back is sore. On Saturday, that race that I did, I literally felt like my quads were going to cramp in the first 10 Ks.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I'm feeling like this, I still got 80 Ks after this. This is going to be bad. And then you kind of just get into it.
Yeah, it is.
it's
because you don't warm up, eh?
Yeah.
So normally for bike, like I would say 20 minutes, warm up 20 minutes. But again, when you're doing a race, you're going there and taking your flipping spinners there and you're sitting on your bike in the back of your bucky, bro. Warming up your legs, bro, with the pros, bro.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to do it because people are like, oh, this guy's serious. Meanwhile, I get on my bike. It's like 1/10 of the cost of everyone else's bike. So now we're all doing 94, hey? Speaking of bikes.
9 for 7, bro. That's going to be fun. I've never done it on a mountain bike.
I've never done it.
Haven't you? Oh, epic, bro. It's a cool race, bro.
It's hard, bro.
Yeah, shame. Last year, we were meant to do it together, and then Cairo was born. And then,
but wait, just backtrack there. Dom says to me, I've only been training with him for like 6 months now. So we're a little bit fit, but not nowhere near okay, just hop on a
You're training
bike.
with Dom for 6 months. You're not going to be really anyway.
Yeah. But Dom expects you to just be like, hey, bro, just hop on a bike. Let's go to 100. It's I might need to train for that. So anyway, he says to me, bro, you keen for 94? I'm like, yeah, I'm keen. When is it? Not knowing much about it. He says, no, it's in 2 weeks' time. I was like, yes, bro. I don't know. So he's like, no, you in. I told Brandon, was it Brandon?
Yeah,
I told Brandon, I got you tickets. It's booked already. So I'm like, oh my gosh, bro. 2 weeks training. I haven't ridden a bike in 6 months. He's like, no, bro, come. We'll do it together. We'll ride slowly. Then.
That's how it happened.
That's the precursor, yeah.
Yeah, I was very keen, bro. Because I've done 947 twice before with pretty good times, 2 hour 50. And on both years, and then I was like, okay, maybe this year, like I'll just ride it, bro. And then Cairo was born the day before, and I definitely people thought I still went and race because they're like, this guy will definitely go.
It's dog, come on.
I was like, no, guys, this is a different story. So Shame, he had to do it on his own, and it's a hard race, bro.
Like
I
valid
won't even
excuse,
lie.
but yeah.
And how did it go?
It was alright. I finished like it was brutal, bro. It's because we had like really good seeding. So I started in the A batch there, like tried to keep up with the Oaks, flew the first 40 Ks, like got to Kailami, which was about 40 Ks in, got there in like an hour. So I was feeling amazing, and then you just hit the Kailami hill, and that's my legs just got blown to pieces, bro. So the next 40 Ks took me like over 2 hours. So yeah, I fell apart a bit, but it was a cool race. Very cool race.
So now, who are us three?
So it's the three of us, and then Alex, Bella's brother, he's going to ride with us. He's done it a few times. And then Lisa's going to do it, Rich's wife, and then Chris.
Are we all on mountain bikes?
So all the Alex and Lisa are going to be on road bikes.
Yeah.
And then we'll be on mountain bikes. But yeah, we've done one bike session. I mean,
was that this past weekend?
Yeah. We did like just under 90 Ks. And then we're like, we're just going to ride it chilled. And then I'm like, okay, bro, if we add on 9 Ks and we need to cut off 15 minutes of this time, we can still do it in 3 hours. And I'm like, he's like, you see, he's starting your stats, eh?
That's brilliant.
But mountain bike's going to be hard, bro.
I don't think so. It'll be okay.
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
You just rode nearly
if you can do 100 Ks mountain biking, you can do 90.
Yeah, well, you just whacked it out this weekend, but I mean, we haven't really been on the bike.
But that was my first time in like the last 8 weeks. Okay, no, I did that 24-hour race.
Yeah, bro.
As well. Okay, I've been riding actually.
Been riding, bro. Forget.
Yeah. We're just going to camp behind Jesse then. He can pull us along the N1.
It's so fast there. Like you sit in that group. And I remember the 1 year I did it. Like I hadn't ridden in, I'd done some races, but I hadn't ridden in a massive batch like that. And I was on the highway and it was dead quiet, bro. And I was like, where's all the riders, bro? And I look back and everyone's just sitting on my wheel, bro. Like this massive group of people.
They were just using
And I was like, no way, this is insane, bro. You get like super stoked. It was my first like 947. And then I told them like, this is what they do, bro. And they push the big guys to the front, eh? Literally, I'd move out and they would just stay there, bro. So you have to go back into the front. And it's fast, but you get to Kalami quick. And then that's what the problem is because you blow your legs doing that fast section where it's flat and rolling and you're on the highway. And then when your legs need to actually like put down wattage because you got to climb, that's when you start.
What's the elevation in total?
It's like, is it 1.3 or something? Eh?
Somewhere around 1.3, yeah.
Which we did this weekend. We did like just under 1.3. So we rode from Douglasdale to the Cradle, but then we went Valverde to the caves and then back. So like a big loop. And it's like just under 90 k's, just under 1,300 elevation. So,
what do you guys prefer, running or cycling?
Yes.
I like both.
Yeah.
But running is like, while we were riding, I was like, yes, it'd be cool to be running this route right now.
I often do that. I'll be cycling and I'll see Oaks Trail running. I'm like, I'd like to do that. Then I'll be running and I'll see people cycling. I'm like, I'd like to be doing that as well.
Yeah, it's hard, bro. I do miss like the long gravel stuff, which he needs to do 100 mile next year. So we're holding you accountable now.
I'll join for that as well.
Laka.
So that's what we got to train him up for.
This is what happens, by the way, in our friendship. Exactly. It's like, no, you need to do this, and then it'll be like a couple weeks notice. Okay, sweet, we in.
But that's good.
Yeah.
I think you need to be surrounded by people.
For sure.
And that's what's been nice about going and joining the gym there. It's because I was always trying to be a lone wolf, trying to do everything myself. But sometimes cycling 100 Ks by yourself, riding 21 by yourself, it kind of becomes a point where motivation can only get you so far when it's literally just you.
Yeah,
it is cool, bro, but like eventually it gets tough, bro. And it is nice to run in a group or bike in a group. Even if you're not talking, I don't talk much when I bike and run. I just listen to everyone. But you just have that like presence. And then every now and then it's like to just go and turn it out on your own. You know?
No, it's definitely nice. But when I was training for UTCT, I would go out to Hearties by myself like every Saturday and Sunday and go run 6 hours by myself in nature.
Yeah.
It's cool and it's amazing. But after doing that for 8 weeks, you're like, maybe someone
need
could
some
at least be
company.
waiting for me at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Or you need to start checking yourself, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else? 94. Okay, Hyrox, obviously.
Hyrox, yeah.
So now I haven't signed up yet. March. I need to, but I'm not. Tell me
Hyrox,
what must I sign up for? Which division?
So look, if you could find somebody that is somewhat a similar like fitness level and strength to you, that would be ideal. Like it's cool to do it with somebody if you're not exactly the same. It doesn't actually matter, but you must know. It could
be frustrating at times.
Yeah, you must know that you're gonna have to put your pride aside and you need to operate with your partner. Like that's what a team does, you know. Or maybe you'll find a teammate that's better on the machines and pulling you on the run, and you just like raw dogging it through the heavy stuff. So yeah, I mean, you must decide it for yourself. Like there is another.
So you
guy.
wouldn't say solo?
Solo is cool, bro. Like I think you'll enjoy solo, especially because you've done so much training on your own. This is only going to be an hour and a bit instead of 6.
Yeah.
So, and we'll be waiting for you, bro.
Around.
We'll be there for you, bro. The little rehydrate. Hey, Jesse.
So what's obviously all the distances are the same,
Yeah.
irrespective of solo or partner.
The weights change though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like your sled weights will be heavier for solo pro. Solo open, obviously it's scaled. But yeah, that's basically the biggest change. All the distances are the same, reps are the same. They recently changed the ladies' reps to the same,
Yeah.
On the walls.
Yeah.
So those are all the same.
They've now like made everything exactly the same, except for the weights.
Yeah.
What are you guys gonna do?
I'm gonna be doing mixed doubles again with Bella. She did really well, bro. I struggled with like an old injury during Hyrox Cape Town. I've just had it for so long, bro, and that running around that track gripped it because it's my right Achilles. So there was a lot of like leaning on it.
You're always going the same way.
Yes, bro. It charred me, bro. By the time I finished burpee broad jumps, if I was doing that race solo, I think I probably would have started walking or I would have pulled out.
Sure.
But I just couldn't, bro. And then like the flexing and stuff, like from the rower and then the lunges, it was painful, bro. But I'm gonna go with her again. I said to her, I was like, listen, do you want to go on your own so you can like really whack it, or are you cool? And I don't know, maybe I've run this thing out, but it was okay like during Cape Town. So I'm gonna go with Bal. Rich is still deciding as well if he's who he's gonna go with, and maybe you guys should go together.
maybe.
If I can keep up with you.
Hey,
that'd be a good team,
might be the
bro.
other way.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think you guys will be a good team.
Would be cool.
But yeah, so still deciding. I don't know. A part of me wants to do solo, but not in a rush to do it. So might do doubles.
Yeah, it's cool because it's still new. Like, so if you want to have a little bit of fun first, and do like teams, like there's still going to be a lot more Hyroxes to come.
Yeah,
100%. And then you can like start doing solos. Some guys are doing it the other way around. They've gone in like doing solos. They're like highly competitive. They want to go to world champs. They want to do like everything solo. That's cool. Like there's a place for everyone in Hyrox. That is the cool thing about it. And they did an interview with Chris Henshaw. Actually, I don't know if you follow or know Chris Henshaw, but
I've heard of him.
He's from the CrossFit side. He does like all the aerobic capacity stuff, and he comes from a triathlon background actually. And he was saying that like CrossFit's not gone or anything. They haven't done anything wrong. But where Hyrox has done really well is they've made it for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And that comes to like divisions, that comes to like weights, like the speed, everything, bro. It's literally for everyone. If you want to do it doubles or you want to do it solo. And on Instagram, you'll see there's competitions happening all the time. And I mean, in Cape Town, I think the longest time was like 3.5 hours. It's long,
very long.
People go and walk, bro. They walk 1 kilometer, which means if we're running it at, like let's say 5 minutes K, they're taking 10 minutes. So
but then what, do you have to wait for them to finish before you can start like the next division?
No, it just rolls, bro. It's like
so the other groups will just be running past
hamster wheel, bro. Yeah.
So like even when we started our mixed doubles division, every 10 minutes there was the next heat going off.
Yeah.
So like you actually never know where you are in your heat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like you could be running and like another couple
Which
from
is nice because it makes you keep on working.
Yeah, it's
you
cool,
never
bro.
know.
Yeah, you never know.
That's
Like
cool.
you can't say, okay, we're in first by 2 minutes. You don't know.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, that was really cool. I think even I think the UK, there's a lady. She's over 70. She's just
I was watching a video on YouTube and she was like
Yeah.
a 70 and she was quite well built.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, she did like I think less than 2 hours. So
Yeah.
she's pretty decent effort.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I just posted that thing. That lady's 6 months pregnant, but she just did a full Hyrox team
Sure.
at mixed doubles.
Amazing, man.
There was a guy at Cape Town. He had one arm, bro. He did wall balls with one arm, bro. He did the full comp, bro. He did
Hectic.
it doubles as well, eh?
Yeah.
Did it with a teammate, bro. Did wall balls, bro. One
Yeah.
arm.
That kind of stuff's motivating when you see
Yeah,
those
bro.
kind
Yeah.
of
So
people.
I just post that stuff on the group, and I'm like, no more excuses. No more excuses.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Oak's gonna sleep in because it's cold. It's
Yes,
like,
That's, I think, for me, the nice thing about Hyrox, it's in comparison to CrossFit, is my Hyrox training session, like this morning, I mean, I was like zone 3, zone 4, most of it. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's my cardio running aspect. Now I can go do weights tonight.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
if I was doing CrossFit, that's my weights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the morning session would be my weight. So that's what's nice about Hyrox is I'm getting the cardiovascular fitness with some weights. So I'm still getting I mean, this
Yeah.
morning with those push-ups and I was pumped, you know. So I still had a nice pump, and then I
Yeah.
can still go do weights, and then I don't feel bad that I haven't run today because of being in that zone, that
Yeah.
heart rate zone.
Yeah, it's cool, bro. Like, I mean, today's workout it was actually really like we did.
It was a nice workout. This morning was fun.
We
I
had
really
run
enjoyed it.
sprints. We had skiing sprints. We had burpees with bicep curls, which is a difficult combo. We had kettlebell snatches. So there is still
There's
a lot of
lunges, so there's lots of
there's a lot of
legs.
strength stuff still happening.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's different, bro. Like a barbell in CrossFit will write you a different story, bro.
Yeah. See, I've never done an actual CrossFit session at all.
Yeah. I mean, there's like the only times when we're using barbell is like in our strength blocks when we're doing like our squats and deadlifts and all that kind of stuff before our like AMRAPs and all that kind of stuff. The thing is, there's a lot of CrossFit training like that some of the Hyrox athletes do, but bro, you put a barbell in that class and tell the oaks to do snatches. They're going to straight up think it's CrossFit. But
And I'm not going to know how to do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, but like we teach you.
Yeah,
but
of course.
Like today, everyone did kettlebell snatches. No one
Yeah.
said they were doing CrossFit.
Yeah.
So,
But for me, if there wasn't those kind of things, if like, let's say there was only ski, row and running, I wouldn't be doing it.
No, neither
having
would
a
I.
little bit of the weights,
Yeah.
having all of that, running on tired legs after doing,
Yeah.
step ups, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff is nice because it's a different style of training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was just cardio, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to go run anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
I think also like what Dom does very well with his programming is like, and maybe some of the other guys get it a bit wrong, is because Hyrox is one workout, it's a standard workout, even in the comp. A lot of them just want to train those movements. But I mean, you can't do that for 6 months. You can't train those same 8 movements for 6 months every day. It's just
And especially as a business owner,
yeah.
if you just make your clients do all that, they're going to be like, well,
It's never
I can do this at home. All I need to do is remember these 8 exercises and then I can do it myself.
100%. Yeah. So like when he programs, programming in kettlebell snatches and I don't know, devil's press, push press, like variations of the movement that are going to complement the Hyrox movements. It's so like it's so good for your body, for your training, for your conditioning, but also just to keep the training sessions interesting. And just like from like a member perspective as well, like you go there and every single session is different.
Yeah, I've been there like this, going into my 3rd month. I haven't done the same workout once.
Exactly. Yeah. And like a lot of people might be thinking, oh, okay, like Hyrox training, like it's going to be the same repetitive thing, but it's not. It's like, it's super interesting. Every session is different. You're going to be pushed to that limit every session. And I think that like comes down a lot to like the programming and the time and the effort behind the scenes that like Dom puts into the sessions. Like it's
So
not,
how much commission are we getting from the sales pitch?
Hey, man. Yeah, boy. He's like, he's got to train this afternoon. He thinks he's getting a therapy session.
Can I have a flat white? boy?
Yes, hey, at least owes me a chocolate if you're late.
And now, for me, going to the gym and doing weights, it's very difficult to get my heart rate over 100.
Yeah.
Dude, yes, it is. But like if you do a good leg session, fine. But
Yeah.
And the rest of the stuff, I have to whack a stiff pre if I need to go into
Yeah.
just like weights, bro.
Like if I'm doing shoulders, I won't do like an isolated muscle group now. So let's say I'll do chest and back. I'll do a massive giant set of like 5 different exercises. Because if I do 12 reps and try to take a minute break, I'm like, oh, what?
You don't know what to do.
Yeah,
bro.
you don't know what to do with yourself.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. Because I mean, even with legs, sometimes maybe I just need to go a bit heavier. But like squatting, I'll do my 12 reps and almost being close to failure. But then I'm just like, my heart rate's, it's like 100.
Yeah,
120.
you want to go
Recovery is
again.
So you
quick,
need to
yeah.
squat, then you need to like jumping squats, then you need to do lunges, and you just have to. And it's just amazing how the human body
Yeah,
adapts to
yeah.
it.
Yeah, and with this Hyrox training, like I still remember when you first started, and I was like, you're gonna get fit very quickly, bro.
I
And
got cooked that first session, whacked. Because I obviously maybe switched long ago, but that's
Yeah.
the closest thing I'd ever come to doing a Hyrox session.
Yeah, the training and the conditioning like that we've also experienced, even for myself. We're like doing Cape Town and even doing Hyrox Cape Town, and then doing like Mad to Run and the marathon. Like that's conditioning, really, where you can still carry on. Like you still need to give your body a bit of a break because there's a lot of central nervous system fatigue that we may not feel until you need to use it. But you get fit quick. Your conditioning is like very different to just weight training. But I mean, like I just had a guy that came now last night, first time. He runs a bit and he does weight training. He looks jacked. It's a different conditioning, you know. And if the guys are putting in like some functional work, because you also want to be able to move, but you don't want to be like this like vending machine running around the Hyrox track, right?
Yeah.
Like you feel it, but you also want to be able to move. And that's where like this variation of movement comes in, and you feel light as well. And when you feel light, like you feel good, bro. And I've seen like really good athletic builds come out of it, like just on the aesthetic side of the training. Is the guys are always worried about losing weight or losing muscle, and as long as they're still doing some strength work, you don't need to lose that muscle. You know the saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. But if you keep working it, you're gonna keep it. Your body's gonna change a lot because aesthetically, you're not training to go stand on the IFBB stage. Like you don't need to look like a bodybuilder. The guys obviously will want to still be jacked, but your body's gonna change. Whether you don't lose weight and you hold that mass, it's always going to look different if you're just doing weight training.
You said you're dropping a lot of weight. Is that just from lots of training?
Yeah, I think it's just from all this running we did. Like, I don't feel like, I mean, I weighed and I didn't lose much weight from Mad to Run, but I definitely felt scroll, bro, when I came back. And I just couldn't eat any like more carbs, bro. I was like, because we had been trying bread, like we might as well have worked at Sasko Sam factory. But just salmis, boy. I was like, I can't eat another salmi, bro. And then I think like also from not doing weight training, we're running we ran like 26 to 30 Ks a day. you can't just go and start curling a rock in the Karoo, you know what I mean? Like,
because you just ran, so you don't want to do any form of lifting.
So I think just if I like now we've been doing some weight training again this week, my body's like super adaptive to it. I'll pick up and I'll feel a lot better like after a week or two of like just getting some weight training in, getting some water in, because obviously dehydration, your muscles just
and even lack of sleep.
You lose pump, everything, but it affects the way your body is, you know. You need to volumize the cells again and all the rest of that stuff. But I think it just takes a little bit of time to kind of like pump up again, you know.
You obviously bodybuilding background. So you said sport, was it like rugby? What kind of figure skating?
Figure skating on the side, a bit of ballet, you know.
Nice, not bad.
Still does ballet.
I saw you quite flexible the other day.
Well, yes, bro. You should see my pirouette.
Well, you know the term, so I believe you.
Lee's posted a video of him on Instagram actually from the weekend.
She sold me down the river.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
We went to a Halloween party, bro, for the kids.
I saw it. Okay, I did see it, yes.
Yeah, yes. Britney Spears was playing. I couldn't help myself. No, but yeah, so hockey and cricket were like my big sports. And then like we loved sports, so we would do like soccer. And then if we had a break of hockey, we'd like go play third team rugby or like fill in where we can. So like a bit of everything. But cricket and hockey were my main two sports. yeah, and I think it's just always been, and I've always run and like the stuff that supplemented those sports. So running's always been big in my family. My dad, my uncle, that whole side of the family has just been runners.
Do you ever go through a bodybuilding phase?
I tried, failed miserably. Yeah, like I just don't think we had the right guidance, and like probably didn't take it seriously enough. You know, everyone thinks they can just hit the gym for 2-3 months and be massive and go stand on stage, and it just doesn't work like that. So yeah, I went through that stage. I went through like the gym boot stage and just went to like bicep curl and get as big as I possibly could, and like it's just not my body type, man. So I failed hard on that. But you know what, like it was good that I went through it. Through that, like found a love for running, a love for riding, did some triathlon, found CrossFit and Hyrox and all of that. So, you know, always been active, had the times in my life where like went completely sedentary and like put on big weight and got active again. And so like been through a lot of ups and downs. Recently, like found consistency. And I think it's through like finding a passion and a love for the kind of training, which I think is super important. Like once you find that love for the training that you do, it's so much easier to be consistent. It's just like, it's not a job anymore. It's not a duty to go train. It's not like, oh, need to go and run or whatever. Now it's like, yes, I want to run. I want to train. I want to go Hyrox. I want to do, you know. So yeah, I don't really play much cricket or hockey anymore, but the training has all been like tailored towards Hyrox. And basically I said to Dom when we did our first consult, I said, he asked sort of like, what are your goals? And I was just like, I want to be able to do everything. So like if my mate comes to me and says, let's go hike, you know, up Kilimanjaro, or let's go ride 100 Ks or do 100 mile, or let's go run a marathon, I want to be able to do it all. And yeah, it's pretty much a couple of things still to go, but
Yeah, Kilimanjaro soon.
we'll get there, bro.
100 miler.
Yeah, bro.
I'd rather do Kilimanjaro than 100 miler. Right now.
Yes.
Right now.
Oof, geez, I'd
Kili's
rather-
definitely easier than 100 miler. Running.
No, bike,
No,
gravel.
that's okay.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I want to do Kili, so I think I would choose to
I also
do
want to do
Kili.
kids,
Yeah.
bro. We must organize it.
I was in Zanzibar once, and these fat old ladies just had climbed Kilimanjaro,
Yeah.
and then we're in Zanzibar on holiday. And
Epic.
I was looking at them. I'm like, if they can do it,
Yeah.
we right now in our fitness level can go and climb
We got it,
Kilimanjaro.
yeah.
No, we can definitely.
Yeah.
Like it might be tough at times, but we can do it. If those fat tunnies could do it, we can do it.
But it always surprises me, like the people that do this stuff, man. Like you even see some of the people that do comrades, and like
That's
Man.
one nice thing about endurance, or difficult thing ego-wise, is doesn't matter the size of the person.
Yeah.
yeah,
I've had many fat women cycle straight past me,
yeah,
or run past
Yeah.
me, and I'm like, you're carrying double my weight, but you I'm struggling compared
Yeah.
to what they are. That's what's
Yeah.
nice about endurance. It's not actually just aesthetic what you look like as
Yeah.
your performance.
for sure. I mean, even on Mad, there was that lady. She put in by far the most mileage out of everyone. I think she was over 50.
Yeah, she was doing like 50 a day, bro.
She was doing
Sure.
50, almost 50 Ks a day. She finished on like 400 Ks in the week or something crazy.
Mad.
And I mean, she's well into her 50s. Like if you looked at her outside of Mad to Run, you would never say that she could do that mileage.
Yeah.
And like she just ran, she just kept going.
Yeah.
She didn't stop going. Like
It's crazy.
all of
man.
us struggling our asses off with like little niggles here and there, and oh man, and this lady just kept going. Bro. It's
Old lady
And like
endurance.
super
Yeah.
quiet, like to
Yeah,
herself.
really
you
humble.
chat to her, she chats to you, but just like on her own mission, bro. Quiet.
Yeah.
So we got 94. What's next on the goals? Obviously, Hyrox March next year.
Yeah.
But anything else that Dom you doing, Rich?
Yeah, boy, we need to do just like a gravel 100 miler. And then Comrades is kind of like floating around at the moment. I'm
Yeah.
just like, yeah, Bella's very keen to do that. She also wants to do an ultra. We got back from Cape Town, and like by 2 days after the marathon, she sends me a message. I need to do another marathon. I need to do an ultra. And how far is Comrades? And I'm like, oh, bro. She's like, she just wants to run.
But that's
bro.
also where it's purely mental, actually. The
Mhm.
moment you do a marathon, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
Start a
I built that
marathon.
up so much in my head. I
Yeah.
know that if I really prepared, I can go do
Yeah.
an 80K. I can go do all of these things.
Yeah.
And you just need to first do it. And then
Yeah.
you realize, like, oh, I can actually do a lot more than I thought I
Yeah.
could.
She's really good at like the less you know, the better kind of vibe. But like, she like asks a lot of questions eventually. But it's like, I still remember when she first started running, which was in January, after she had Cairo. Bella hadn't like run, dude. She had maybe run 5Ks in her life, dude. And we got onto, I like started training her, and I'd go run 3Ks with her, and she was like really struggling. And then got her a watch so she could take her heart rate and stuff. But she used to just run, really, you know. Sometimes technology is a bit of not such a good idea for us. But I think that's how she got really fit, was before she was running with no watch. And then she did her first half marathon. Like, I would just take my team to the cradle. I'd train the guys up to do half marathons, because I think it's a good benchmark to have, you know, being able to run for like 2 hours. And we'd run from the Lion Park to the caves and back. And after she did her first half, she was like, straight away, she's like, how far is the marathon? And I was like, oh, here we go, bro. And then she did the same thing after Cape Town Marathon. She's like, I need to run an ultra. When's the next marathon? So we'll see. She might do, the Jacaranda marathon in Pretoria. I think it's in like 2 weeks' time. But yeah, I don't know what else. Like, comrades, we were going to do it for Lisa's birthday. Yeah. We've obviously all qualified. But I just can't wrap my head around running that, dude. Like, I
would rather do it on the trails. I would rather do 100K.
So that's what my mindset was. But I just, like, doing Cape Town Marathon, that vibe, like, I didn't feel, I've run harder half marathons than the Cape Town Marathon. It's an amazing race, like, because it's such a vibe. And like, I think that's what carries you through. That part, not like, I think once you get past the ultra distance,
once you're over 60, I think you
like, you need some love, bro. Because you do that on your own, it's gonna be hectic, bro. What else do we have lined up? I think that's pretty much it. I was keen to do triathlons again, but after that last one I did, bro, I was like, yes, I think I'm just gonna stay on land. I like entered me and Rich and Lee's into just a triathlon. It was at a golf estate in the east, Ibotsi, bro. What a beautiful venue to do a triathlon. Clean dam, like, it's private estate, and didn't train for it. Like, I swam once or twice, and I thought I could still go do a triathlon. But like, I did well, but I was just like,
what was the distance? It was like a full half.
I did a sprint, so it's a 750 swim, a 20 bike, and a 5K run.
Okay, but you probably went hard.
Yeah, I did, bro. Like, I still podiumed, but I didn't even realize. And then, but I was just like, I'm not gonna be in the water. So I would love to do triathlon. Like, I do dig it, but the swimming, bro, it wrecks my brain, bro. It's not that I'm bad at swimming, but it just hits my brain, bro.
In what way?
It's just mentally difficult. Like, a couple of years
That's
ago.
why I think I haven't got into it, because the swimming for me is so hard, daunting.
Bro. It's hard. Like, you look how far that distance is to swim, bro. Like, around the dam. It's far, bro.
And you're in the open. There's no...
Bro, it's actually quite weird, like, when you get into open water swimming. Like, swimming in a pool's one thing. You get into a dam and swim, you can't see your hand, if you put it like this. Like, it's cold, it's warm, you feel things that touch you. It's like, it's weird, man. There's a lot of sensations. There's different noises. There's like, you know, and there's waves. Like, you try and breathe and a wave claps you and you get a bit of water. It's just like, it throws you off completely.
Mine is just seeing the boys, bro. They're so far.
Yeah. Because you also got to navigate. So you got to like swim and then check where you're going. And yes, I remember when I did my try at what's that? Cradle Moon.
Cradle Moon, yeah.
So like, one of the tactics you can use when you're in the open water swim is you can sort of find a person that's sort of your pace and then use their kick as like your direction, and then they check where they're going and you just sort of hold your stroke. But I don't know what happened. This guy in front of me, we were going for like 200-300 meters, and I think he stopped to look where he was going. And I just mounted this guy, because I carried on swimming, and I just like slid onto his back, and I was like, oh,
like a dodgy poodle.
Like, it freaked out, and then I just whacked it, bro. I didn't want to see that guy again.
That's so funny, bro.
Nice, guys. Thanks for the chat.
Yeah, cool, bro.
I appreciate it.
That was
and
awesome.
People must join a Hyrox gym wherever they are in the country, because I definitely, right now, okay, I'll say I'm enjoying the cycling the most, but definitely I'm preferring it to running. The style of Hyrox for me is just, I think it's ideal for anyone that maybe enjoyed sport
Yeah.
and enjoyed that kind of fitness.
Yeah. Have you seen like benefit in your other training?
Yeah. I mean, when we did that 28 in the cradle, I didn't run over 21 in like 6 weeks. And then I could just go do a 28.
Do 28.
Yeah.
So like that strength with the endurance is where it really helps. Even the cycling, I mean, obviously that 24-hour event, I was on 1 hour, off 3 hours, on 1 hour. So there's a lot of break. But I mean, I
That break's hard, bro.
The break it does cook you a little bit, but I did 125 Ks in the 24 hours.
That's good.
But even this past weekend, I mean, I haven't been cycling properly, and my average speed was really good for the 95 Ks that we did. So that way I've seen the strength. Whereas previously to try gas 95 Ks, I would have had to have done some training before that properly. Yeah.
That's why I say the conditioning is so different, bro. It really is. It's still like amazing me because like I'm not hesitant to do stuff. I've got like a limit where I'm not just gonna do anything, but because you know yourself. But again, you think like you wouldn't have been able to whack out 95 Ks. Like you haven't really biked much, but it happens. People all going around at 28. So like that kind of just becomes something that you can do, which is cool. But the thing is, people don't see what you did to get there.
Yeah.
So they watch you do all these things.
Yeah.
But they don't understand you run 6 hours on your own, or you up at 4 every morning to train because your classes are starting at 6, or you have to get up even earlier to train at 5 because you're coaching.
Your kid's not sleeping at 2, so
dude,
you're helping them while you're on the trainer.
There's a lot that's going on, bro, and that's what I think is the biggest like mishap in the fitness industry with people not reaching their goals, is because they aspire to be like someone. And they watch these guys and they're like, yeah, I want to be like this person. Like Nick Bear, he's very popular. Everyone wants to be like Nick Bear.
The amount of hours that guy is
training. I've been watching that guy before he became like this big thing on social media. And the amounts of training he does, bro. People think he looks like it because he does it 1 track session a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They watch his track session and then they're like, okay, he ran this morning. But he's doing other training during the day. Like that's what he does, bro. He's putting in probably maybe like 3 hours. It's a lot.
Well, I remember when I was in varsity, I mean, if you look at JC Creel's physique, the guy looks incredible.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
So when I was in varsity, I would be at the gym. Let's say it was like 5, 6, whatever. He would be there. Then he would do his training sessions for bulls, whatever I would see on Instagram. And then that evening, he's back in the gym doing something else, watt bike session or whatever.
And you see him there, so you know that this is what
I would
this
be
guy's
doing two, but then in between that, I maybe went to class, whereas he's doing a bulls fitness session, which is next level type of fitness. So they're doing 3 or 4 sessions a day. That's why it looks like that.
Yeah.
It's a lot, bro.
Like people just look at him and be like, yo, he looks amazing. I want to look like that.
Yeah. And they follow his
so
exercises in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's there on his training program.
Yeah.
I actually saw him at Cape Town Marathon at the
Serious?
what do you call it, the thing before? Where we went to
the expo.
Expo.
Yeah.
I saw him at the expo.
Okay.
I wonder if he ran it.
Maybe, bro.
Probably knowing him.
Yeah.
He could do it.
Yeah, bro.